All right, so we are live. Today, I want to expose something where some other artists have told me not to say anything about it, but I'm going to expose something I've been using, and I've coined it the ghost sketching technique, where I'm going to be using AI Mid-Journey to develop some ideas. They're going to act as kind of like a ghost sketcher to come up with some of these ideas. And the reason why I want to share it is because I know so many people are stuck in creative block, or you're sitting there waiting for inspiration to strike, and there's really no need to do that. AI is here to stay. No matter how you feel about it, it's going to be here for years to come in the creative industry, and we all need to learn how to embrace it. And I think the best way to do that without selling your creative soul to the artificial intelligence is this ghost sketching technique. So again, let's just get into it. I already have my prompts for AI set up. I'm going to share my screen here. Boom. So I already have my prompt set up. We're in Discord, Mid-Journey, and I'm going to go ahead and go with the first prompt, which anybody, if you've used Mid-Journey before, you know it starts with a prompt, and these AI chats are just going off today in Discord. There's a lot of people using this today. I'm going to skip over to another chat and see if I can't get that. So my first prompt is going to be, it always starts with imagine. And I'm going to go ahead and say, this is my first prompt. And I'm going to explain how this makes it specifically the ghost sketching technique. So I'm going to read the prompt. It says, logo style illustration of a happy alligator wearing sunglasses while floating on a pool raft in the style of a black and white sketch by Leonardo da Vinci. So that last part right there. Not only do you have to come up with a good prompt to kind of tell a story, whether it's for an actual client or whether it's for a problem or solution that you have, which is going to be in kind of the other prompts that I'm going to show you. But the main part that makes it the ghost sketching technique is telling AI to style it as a black and white sketch. And I like to use one of my favorite artists, or a famous artist that has a lot of history in the search engines that AI can pull from. But the key here is a black and white sketch. What makes it the ghost sketching technique is asking AI to style it in a black and white sketch. And why that's important is because as you see some of these images that are populating here, they are really rendered, and it can give you analysis paralysis, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it, but it could stop you from even going any further with that idea. It's already done. But I find that if you tell it to do it as a black and white sketch, that allows you to kind of fill in the blanks, use it afterwards in Procreate to chop it up and to make your own composition. That really just allows you to not sell your creative soul to artificial intelligence. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. It's going to come up with 4 separate ideas, and we're going to have the choice of upscaling or versioning them. And this is really cool because if you have a time crunch and you just need something to get the idea engines going, you may not even use this. But let's just say I needed this on the fly. I needed 4 ideas quick. And I've already beat Google to death. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've just stopped using Google to source any reference imagery. It is all coming from this to help inspire. If I'm not even using any parts of it, it's at least loosely inspiring. So as you see this sketch developing, I mean, it kind of gives you compositions, everything. It's pretty sweet. I would say this is a very, very, very powerful tool that you can then use. I can go ahead and I can just save this image, let's just say, to my downloads. I can put this into Procreate and I can start doing my own sketch over it. I can start taking pieces of this and putting it together in a way where it actually makes sense. Because, I mean, obviously you see it has like 2 tails or something here. It doesn't always do it right, but I really like the way that this gator is positioned here. So I'm going to go back, and the way this works, if you haven't used Mid-Journey before, U stands for upscale, V stands for version. When you hit version, it's going to give you 4 more options of that square. And we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I want this gator up there, I'm going to have to choose U2. And it's going to upscale that image. It's also going to version out that image. So while that's going, I want to go ahead and think about our next prompt. But before we get there, I just really want to share how excited I am about this technique. I have already used this to help overcome some creative blocks, or even just finding reference imagery on Google, which every artist does to come up with ideas. Um, I just found it to be the most powerful way to feel like I was actually putting together an idea that was new. I know this is sourcing from the internet and pre-existing images, but it gave me the ability to take images that were created based off of my prompt, not images that were found based off of my search. So if that makes sense, you're going to understand that Midjourney is probably going to kill Google for any creatives looking for reference imagery. So I'm going to go ahead and go down and I'm going to find those upscales in the version. So here it versioned out that one square and it gave me it gave me four more different versions of this. So the snouts are different. Some little variances are different on this, but it was able to produce four more versions of that within seconds. So I'm going to say upscale one. And I'm going to show you what we do when we upscale. It gives an actual more high res version of the image that you can then take and chop up and make your own composition with. So let's just say this is one of them. Save image. And I think in a later video, I'm going to go ahead and do like a part 2 of this where I take these images and I put them into Procreate and I show you my 2 favorite brushes of how I sketch and then how I do the line work on an image. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to get going to the second prompt. Okay. So it's kind of funny. I thought about this one and I pre-did these prompts because I just thought it would be a lot more fun. But we all know air travel is, well, it just sucks. And especially seating is one of the biggest problems. So imagine if you're working for, let's just say Spirit Airline, Delta, United, and you are a seat engineer. And they have come up with you with this, hey, we have problem with spacing. We need new ergonomic seats. And we have a giant budget to make it happen. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take this prompt and I want you to see what it does with this. So we're going to use that same ghost sketching technique here. I'm going to go ahead and initiate my prompt. And then I'm going to paste my prompt in here to save you the painful time of me typing this all out, but I am going to read it to you. So my prompt is mechanical diagram of a commercial airplane seat with upgraded ergonomic shape and space efficient engineering in the style of a black and white sketch by the artist Michelangelo. So what I want you to see, what again is this ghost sketching technique, is calling it out to style it like a black and white sketch. And like what I like to do is tell it to use one of my favorite artists. And it helps to have an artist from history just because they have such a large data bank within the system AI is pulling from. So we're going to hit enter. And I'm sitting here, I'm a seat engineer. I've just got stressed out by my boss, but I've gotten into Discord. I've pulled up AI to give me some inspiration. I don't even know how this is going to work. I've never asked it to do something like this, so we might get just some really weird results. But if we're lucky, our prompt was good enough to where it could give us something that could actually make the next airplane seat. And as a tall guy, I'm 6'4", I do not fit well in airplane seats. So this would be a huge one for me. And I also want to note, man, this is already looking awesome. As this is starting to style itself, one of the biggest things I like to do when I'm talking about design or engineering of an item, let's just say you are an airplane seat engineer. I don't really know what you're called, but look at this, 4 different designs. Some of it maybe looks pretty standard. I mean, there's really no incredibly way you can reinvent the seat, but you're starting to see how it's pulling pieces apart of the actual drawing. I mean, I'm sure it's saying gibberish in here, but we're going to go ahead and upscale. I like 4. So we're going to upscale 4. I also like version 3. So I want to version out 3. I want to version out 4. Let's upscale 3 too, so we can get some more detail in there. Let's version out number 1. I'd like to see the front of that. And I really don't know about 2, but let's just do it anyway. So what I want to say, the power of this ghost sketching technique without selling your creative soul to AI is being able to tell it black and white sketch, your favorite artist, and it will produce the baseline ideas for you to then fully render. The biggest issue I have with AI is, I mean, like, look at this. It is a fully rendered image and it kind of just stops you right there. I mean, everything's done. You don't need to take it any further. But using the ghost sketching technique by telling it to do a black and white sketch, it's going to allow you to finish and fill in the gaps. So as we got some of these things going, let's go here. So boom, I'm going to go ahead and save this image just in case, United Airline hits me up and they want these sketches. Of course, gotta keep it. You never know. Yeah, right. But again, I just want to stress the power of this. It has now versioned out 4 different seats based off of my prompt to ask it to be more ergonomic and space efficient. Now, these are real world problems in the airline industry that they're looking to solve. And AI is here to help generate ideas that can get us going. And this could possibly produce the next future airline seat that's going to allow me to actually maybe want to fly, because I absolutely hate flying. The seats suck. Like I said, I'm a tall dude, and this is one of the biggest problems I have with flying. And if they could figure it out, hey, I'd be booking more flights. So again, I'm going to ask it to upscale number 2 because I think it's cool. Also going to ask it to upscale number 4 because it looks like it has some cool seat compartment thing going on the bottom here. But again, this is just such a powerful tool for anybody in any industry. And if these are successful, you guys like them, I would like to do more of these live streams where I use 3 different prompts to come up with 3 different problems that are currently happening in the world, and hopefully reach somebody in that industry to inspire them to figure this out. Because like I said, tall guy, I want better seats. They haven't done anything since the airplanes have been built. So all right, so enough of that. I'm going to get back into another one. So if you're building a home, you know that you have to have architectural drawings done. You have to have engineering done. You have to have all these things done in permits. And I won't get into it, but one of the biggest hurdles is finding an architect to create something truly unique. So I really want to stress how cool this is going to be. I've never done this before, but I'm going to use the ghost sketching technique to come up with architectural elevation drawings of a modern home. And I'm going to ask it to style it like Frank Gehry. So I'm going to copy my prompt, who is one of my favorite historical architects. So I'm going to start the prompt, go in here. Well, if I could copy and paste it correctly, you think I'd have that down. So again, our prompt is architectural elevation drawings of a modern apartment building as a black and white sketch in the style of Frank Gehry. Sorry, apartment building, because the problem here is, well, there's more and more people on the planet every day. There's more and more people moving into cities, and where's everybody going to go? Apartment buildings that can house more people and do so without sacrificing comfort and structural integrity, I think are going to be a part of the future. So that's why I came up with this prompt, and using the ghost sketching technique. Let's just say I'm an architect for a big firm, and I have just gotten this bid, several million dollar bid for an architectural building, and I am under stress. I have been procrastinating for months. I don't know what to do. And now I've just used AI. I have stumbled across Housa Creative's video, and I am now inspired to solve my problem with Midjourney. So let's see this. Hopefully it comes out cool, because I just talked it up pretty high. I mean, it's been doing some cool stuff so far. So as this is fully rendering, again, this ghost sketching technique, that's, I guess, what I've called it, because there's ghost writers out there who write for people. So why not have a ghost sketcher? Except in the creative world, I mean, who's going to let anybody sketch for them? So why not make it AI? And you can use your prompts, your story, your words to generate something that could be truly unique. So of course, this is looking weird, but I asked it to style it like Frank Gehry. So, I mean, I just think this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and I don't even think it's done yet, but I'm going to ask it to upscale 1. I'm going to ask it to upscale, let's say version 4, and I'm going to ask it to version out 4, version out. So what I'm getting at is, as soon as you do one prompt, it gives you 4 ideas. Off of those 4 ideas, you can generate 4 more ideas off of each of those ideas. So you're talking about loads of ideas that you could immediately download, put onto a mood board, present to the client, your boss, and without spending loads, hours, time, laborsome, just creative time at the drawing desk, you can help get the ball rolling immediately. And that way you can spend your actual good creative time and energy getting the conversation started, having the idea rolling, and being able to use all of that actual creative talent to put the finishing touches on the product instead of starting out on the project, putting all your energy into it, having endless revisions, going back and forth, and losing that initial steam, that initial momentum you had in the beginning of the product or the project. So again, AI Midjourney, this ghost sketching technique is something that I have been developing and using in Midjourney, and I have found it to be the #1 way to break my creative block, to come up with crazy ideas, and to also be able to have creative control over the image where it's not fully rendering it. So as these images are popping up, I'm going to go ahead and download them because, man, this is cool. What if we get a $1 million bid for a concept? Who knows? Yeah, right. But again, this ghost sketching technique is something that I want all artists to think about. Don't think you're too big for AI. Like, just do not. You have to use these techniques to start getting into this because I believe it'll help break you out of your own rut, whether you have a style you've been stuck in for so long and you need to change it up. This is going to help get you going. Um, I just can't get over it. So maybe if you guys want, I'm going to take these images and put them into Procreate and show you how to actually do the other half of this, the part 2, which is actually putting your creative ideas to work and using Procreate to transform these AI images into something that's truly unique, special, and your own. So yeah, Google is dead. I'm telling you, if you're not using AI Midjourney to generate your ideas as a professional creative, what are you doing? So I do want to go and check out some of the images we downloaded and kind of go back over those because, man, those are pretty cool, right? All right, boom. Boom. I got to share my screen correctly. Hang on tight. Don't go nowhere, guys. All right. Well, never mind. We're just going to go here. So again, these images are awesome. If you're not using it, start using the ghost sketching technique immediately. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Whether you're an architect, an airplane seat engineer, somebody just trying to make a t-shirt with a gator floating on a raft. Hopefully today, after watching this, you have been totally inspired to download Discord, get on AI Midjourney, and start making your ideas happen on a whole new level. So thanks for tuning in to my first real live stream. Housa Creative. Peace out. Until next week.